Welcome to a unique episode of the No Delusion Zone. What you're about to see is a raw and unedited episode, a version of a No Delusion Zone podcast that I recorded just a little while ago today, May 15th, 2024. I was interviewing a member of parliament, the chairman of the Defense Committee of the Slovakian Parliament, Juraj Krupa. Juraj Krupa. During our conversation, he received a phone call from another member of parliament, and he was told that the Prime Minister of Slovakia, Robert Fico, had just been shot. His status and condition was unknown, but it was very obviously an assassination attempt. So, Mr. Krupa had to go. I had to end this very unusual interview with the hope that Mr. Fico would recover, that Slovakia would not descend into chaos, and that I could continue my conversation with Mr. Krupa, hopefully in just a few days. But again, what you're about to see was the first part of that interview, which was later interrupted, and there are no edits because I think it's important for people to see what happens during a crisis like this, the attempted assassination of a national leader. In fact, it may not be attempted much longer. I understand right now, as of early afternoon on the 15th of May, that Prime Minister Fico is in very serious condition in a hospital. So we shall see. So stay tuned and watch this rather dramatic, unedited version of the No Delusion Zone. I'm David Debato, and you've just entered the No Delusion Zone. Thank you for joining me on this edition of the No Delusion Zone and my special guest, Juraj Krupa. Juraj is a member of the National Council of the Slovak Republic. Previously, he worked as the director of the now my notes here are
Slovak Security Policy Institute.
No, I've got it all. Believe me. Previously, he worked as the director of the Security and Defense Program at the Slovak Institute for Security Policy. And before that, at the Ministry of Defense and the permanent delegation of the Slovak Republic to NATO. He entered parliament in 2020 on the Ordinary People and Independent Personalities Party candidate list. He is chairman of the Parliamentary Committee for Defense and Security and speaks at many international forums regarding Slovak and European security issues, not the least of which is the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Juraj has a PhD in international relations from Matej Bell University in Slovakia and is currently a candidate with the Freedom and Solidarity Party in the upcoming elections for the European Parliament. Juraj Krupa, welcome to the No Delusion Zone.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation.
My pleasure. To get started, please tell us a little bit about your background in Slovak politics, including your previous party and how you, I guess, quit that or changed party affiliations until recently, and as well as you could a little bit about your former positions within the Slovak government, especially within the Ministry of Defense.
Well, you mentioned basically brief history, my bio. Well, I entered politics basically with the party or the movement of ordinary people and independent personalities, which was a movement basically based on fighting corruption and nepotism in Slovak Republic. And it's well known that Slovakia is suffering under corruption, nepotism, and corruption which are misused by the elites for already a long time. Let's call it for decades. And I just said to myself, okay, I was working at the Ministry of Defense, NATO, in a think tank. And I just said to myself, okay, let's join politics. Let's try it. So I started to campaign with this party, and this party won the elections in 2020. And we managed to create a government. It was a government consisting of a coalition, broad coalition of political democratic parties. Well, this is the destiny of Slovakia. If you want to have a government, you have to create coalitions. It's always like several parties coming together. Well, the government was known for starting a lot of investigations and fighting the corruption and nominees of the and hunting the nominees of the previous governments, which led to many tensions. And of course, the tensions were also then later, with the time, visible also within the coalition. As a broad coalition of left and right, conservative, liberal, was constantly under pressure. You also have to bear in mind the time of COVID, the pandemic, and then the start of the war in Ukraine, energy crisis, inflation, etc., had a major impact on the government, which basically then started to fall apart. We had 3 prime ministers during this period. And yes, there was the party which I belong to, and I moved from this party to the Party of Freedom and Solidarity, which is a liberal party. Basically fell apart. I mean, the government fell apart, and then there was a vote for voting for. Well, basically, how to say it? The government was left. Didn't go. I'm sorry. It's a very stressful day.
Understood. Let me interject if I could, Juraj, because I think my viewers should know why you're stressed out today, and we could talk about this later if you want. Apparently,
yeah, of course.
Just before we started recording this, I want my viewers to know that the Prime Minister, Robert Fico of Slovakia, was shot. We don't know anything beyond that. We don't know his current.
It's just minutes, and my phone is still beeping, and I'm getting information and everything. So it's a very stressful situation right now here in Slovakia. It might impact everything.
Yes, and his current situation and condition is unknown. No other facts are known about this situation, and so that's why Juraj is a little bit stressed right now.
Sorry, it's 10 or 15 minutes old information.
Yes.
Well, whatever. The government fell apart, and there was and basically there was the vote in the parliament. So the government lost the majority, and it lasted then for some months. That the government tried to rule in a minority, but they tried to do many deals, basically with extreme right-wing political parties, even could be called fascist parties. And so this led to the dissolution of the government itself and a loss of the trust in the parliament, and to pre-elections. Pre-elections took place in 23, and they were totally used by a current government and the current coalition, and by Fico, who was ruling, who was 3 times prime minister before. And this Mr. Fico used all the narratives, the Russian narratives, Russian propaganda, to gain power in Slovakia. So, and this happened to be the fact. And it's the fact we're living here right now, and it's a very difficult situation in Slovakia right now.
I'd like to just tell you that if you receive any information while we're recording this and speaking on your phone or whatever, and you have to take that information or even go, do so, and we can continue this at another time. And perhaps actually when you do find out the specifics on this incident, we might actually reschedule this to do an update if that's something you would agree to.
Actually, it's a very intensive situation right now, even in the parliament. I suggest we reschedule it because
Okay,
I'm receiving
understood.
messages. Things are taking. I mean, it's very intense situation. I'm sorry, Mr.
No,
Debato.
no, I understand. It's what we would call a fluid situation. It's
Oh my
changing
God.
moment by moment.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. I think I have to leave.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Do you have any idea when we might be able to reconnect?
Let's reconvene next week.
Next week.
I'm
Okay.
sorry. It's
No, God
unexpected
bless.
situation.
God
And I'm
bless.
receiving messages from my colleagues from the
Sure.
parliament.
Yes.
Wow. I mean, the coalition parliamentarians are running into the parliament and shouting and want to fight with the opposition parliamentarians, etc.
Any information on Fico's condition right now?
Let me check. Just a second.
Or the shooter who did this? Any information?
No.
Nothing.
Just no. No. I
Nothing.
mean,
Okay.
no. But
Understood.
it's a mix of information. I'm really sorry about that.
Yura, I will contact
I would
you.
be very distracted. I'm told
No.
constantly. My
I will
phone is
contact
beeping.
you in about a week. My prayers go with you in Slovakia, and we will talk again perhaps in a week. Okay?
Please. I'm sorry.
Or you
really,
contact me
stressful.
if something happens earlier. Otherwise, I will contact you in about 1 week.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
You bet.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Sorry. Bye.